All right, guys, welcome to California. I'm not sure if you can hear in the background over there, Princess Zara. I think she's having a laugh at Dad making a cookery video. But anyway, it's Valentine's Day, and clearly with a 5-week-old baby, we are not going out on a date this year. So I am going to cook for my beautiful wife, Lou, and I'm going to bring out the big guns. We're going to make pan-fried fillet steak with thyme and sea salt wedges. I'm also going to make some caramelized shallots and an amazing red wine sauce. So we're going to kick off with the caramelized shallots, and they're dead easy because all they are shallots and butter. So we're going to finely chop the shallots. I've got a pan on nice medium heat. Now let's melt some butter and then get the shallots in there, and also add a good pinch of salt. So let's move them around. We're going to whack a lid on there, cook them for about 20 minutes, give them a stir every now and again, make sure they're not burning, and then we're going to come back. Okay, for the wedges, we're going to whack a pan in the oven, preheat that to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. And what I'm going to do, I've got some russet potatoes. Let's cut them into nice wedges, get them in a big bowl. We want to add some salt, pepper, thyme, and also a good glug of olive oil. And what I'm looking to do is mix that all through really thoroughly. So let's pour them into the pan. Let's get them back in the oven. We're going to check on them in about 10 minutes time. Okay, they're looking really good, so let's give them a flip over, make sure they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Let's get them back in the oven, and they should be ready in about 30 minutes. Right, the shallots are cooking down really nicely, so what we're going to do now, we're going to take the lid off, we're going to cook them for about another 20 minutes or so, same low heat, but when that lid's off, all the moisture is going to evaporate, and they're going to start getting more golden brown, darker, sweeter, and yummier. So just keep stirring it, every 5 minutes or so. Just make sure nothing's burning on the bottom of the pan. Okay, we're going to make the red wine sauce from scratch, and it is well worth putting in a little bit of extra effort to make this, because it really is stonking. So we're going to kick off. We need to get some beef trimmings from your butchers. We're going to chop those into small pieces, and let's get them browning in the pan. I'm also going to add some finely chopped onion, celery and carrot. Let's get them in, and I want to cook them down so everything's nicely caramelized. They're looking great, so I'm going to add a couple of cloves of garlic, some sprigs of thyme, and let's move them around the pan. Okay, so it's time to add the red wine. I'm using a Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's add that in, scrape the bottom of the pan, lift off all those lovely roasty bits on there. Then let's cook that down until it's almost all evaporated. Right, that's looking really good, so let's add half a pint of beef stock. I also want to add a sprig of tarragon, and we're going to cook that for about 10 minutes until it reduces down to a nice syrupy consistency. The last thing we need to do is pass this through a very fine sieve. And what I want to do is use the back of a ladle just to squash out all of that liquid from the vegetables and the meat. Let's pop that aside, and we'll reheat this when we're resting the steaks. All right, we're going to cook the fillet steak now. And I know that sometimes cooking steak, there can be a few pinch points in there which people kind of don't know how to cook it properly. So we're going to focus on each of these steps so you can get to cook this perfectly. So rule number one, always make sure that the steak is out at least half an hour before you cook it. So we want that at room temperature. And then we're just going to season that with salt. Now I've got a pan on, it's on a really hot roaring heat, so let's add a little bit of oil, let's get the steak in, and let's leave that there for about 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, we're going to add a couple of knobs of butter, let's flip that over, and what I want to do is seal this on all sides so all the steak is completely brown. Right, that's looking fantastic. It's not quite cooked through, so we're going to pop it in the oven for 5 minutes, cook that through, and then we're going to take it out and rest it for 10. So whilst that's resting, let's reheat our red wine sauce. Everything's looking great, so it's time to plate up. Thanks very much for watching. I've got 4 individual videos for each of these recipes, so you can check them out in a bit more detail. So the link's coming up right now. Anyway, thank you again. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't want your love, I want your subscription. So if you could kindly subscribe below, that would be amazing. Anyway, ciao ciao, and I'll see you on the next video.